I'm taking Manny out, without a doubt in my mind. My toes are shaking right now. I want to eat his ass alive. I'm taking Manny out, without a doubt in my mind. My toes are shaking right now. I want to eat his ass alive.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. We've got not one. I think we've got two superstars in the making. We've got two incredible matchups. We've got by far the absolute best episode of the Road to the Title. Number 2 just finished up. How amazing was that, Big Jeeves?
Man, like you said, I'm just repeat exactly what you said. The best episode we've seen so far. The matches, the excitement, the animosity being built, and not to mention the superstars we're starting to see. This one was one that you got invested right away, and I loved every minute of it.
For sure, Ding. What do you got to say, my man? I know you are going to be the negative of the show.
We did not just start the show like that. When KO Chris said he wants to eat Emmanuel's ass alive, bro. Nah, I got nothing good on that. I don't know, man. I don't know what we're doing here on Slap News, bro. I don't condone or endorse any of the behavior that you saw in the beginning. But not my thing.
Nowhere to go. We have nowhere to go but up from here. Mr. Producer, play that intro. All right, we're back. Like we've said, we've started at the bottom and we're going all the way to the top in this episode. What an incredible show from start to finish that we had. We've had everything in here. We got Manny and Chris going back and forth at each other. What do we think of that? There was a bit of a lull. We've seen the first episode, Chris throwing a right hook, kind of died down, but it's all coming back right now. Manny and Chris getting in a war of words. What do we think of that?
Man, not just in training. That was a great way for them to come in and, almost like put them into the gym, get them to face each other. And these guys, it's no joke. They don't seem to like each other anymore. So that trash talk just came naturally. And it's great for the show, man. It's exciting. It adds to their match coming up. And I think Manny has even more reason to want to shut Chris up after all of this.
Yeah, man. Jeeves hit the nail right on the head. I think, what's interesting to me is that they've actually had a promo for these guys going head-to-head February 9th for a very long time. You don't traditionally see that where you're promoting a fight between two guys for so many months in succession. Even on the Ultimate Fighter, some of these platforms that are more established, it's never really happened that way. So I think that there's some real blood here. There's probably a lot that we still have to see. We're only about halfway through the season. We just hit the halfway mark last week. So I'm excited to see what happens, man. And I do love, we've always talked about on this show, we need the bad guys. We need the bad blood. We need the animosity, and we're getting it. We're getting it right.
I'm taking Manny out, without a doubt in my mind. My toes are shaking right now. I want to eat his ass alive.
Of course, Ray's going to play it to no end. We're going to keep on going with this through and through.
I don't know where that came from, but thank you. That was great.
Impromptu, but all good. We're going to think a little bit backwards this time. The second matchup is what we're going to start with, because we've got Branden Bordeaux joining us. I know he's under the weather, so we really greatly appreciate him joining us here to actually talk about the matchup against Joe Landman. We see Joe Landman getting a bye past the first round of the competition, coming in the first round or first match.
Yeah, that's too loud.
Round. How amazing is that?
Just a little bit, not much.
What's going on, Ding? Got a little family affair?
Nah. Yeah, so I think I'm actually I'm thankful that we're able to see Joe Landman. But man, the chin on Branden Bordeaux. This guy is, again, the timing couldn't be better. We've talked about how the middleweight division needs that guy. They need the next prospect in line after a dominant champion. If you check out some of the posts about middleweight, about John the Machine Davis, you see Branden Bordeaux in there, chirping. He's definitely not being quiet about his intentions. So who knows if we see that maybe the champion feels a little disrespected by some of that, and some of that banter goes back and forth, and eventually, these guys clash, and Branden Bordeaux gets a shot to prove himself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's talk about Joe Landman a little bit here before we bring Branden in. a new confidence from Joe Landman. We've seen the highs and the lows of Joe Landman, and there's a new sense of confidence coming in from Joe this time around, at least from, you know, the clip seeing him go in, him there at the weigh-ins was definitely a different Joe than we've seen before. Also, stylistically, we probably have two totally different guys, the way that they look at the sport, the way that they prepare, the way that they, you know, take the entire sport, very, very different. Joe is very much laid back. You know, in the beginning, got called out for not taking it seriously. He was just one of those guys that was happy to be there. Branden Bordeaux, right from the get-go, stood out that I want to be a world champion. I want to prove that I am here and that I am legit. So very different stylistically. Height-wise, we've got 5-inch, you know, height difference between these two guys. You know, so we're seeing Joe on his tippy toes at the weigh-in, trying to get up to Branden. Could be one of the bigger, you know, height differentials that we've seen in Power Slap to date. But we know that this is going to be fireworks. Let's bring Branden in right now. Let's talk to him a little bit about before we get into the match. Oh. Branden, where you at? How you doing, my man?
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you?
Good, man. We know you're under the weather. We'll try and make it as short and quick as possible. We appreciate you joining me, but we are uber excited about this matchup, my man. You show up, you show out. Let's talk about the pre-match a little bit before going in with Joe. You know, was there some animosity there? I'm not sure, man. Were you just all business, or did he kind of get under your skin a little bit?
No, actually, it was kind of the complete opposite when it came to Joe. I made friends with Joe actually when I was out in Vegas in August. You know what I mean? So him and I had, you know what I mean, had kind of been friends from there. And then I knew maybe a little bit that he was going to be in the house. And then, you know, once I seen him out there, you know, and then, like I said, him and I we're actually pretty friendly with each other, which, you know, I had mentioned that it's hard for me to kind of be friends with people that I'm going against. You know, I don't like necessarily try to be buddy with people that, you know, I have to compete against. So that made it a little bit more difficult, but you know, Joe's a good guy. He's a family guy like myself, you know, like you had mentioned, you know, maybe him and I kind of go about this a little bit differently. You know, he is a little bit more laid back, and I'm, you know, a lot more serious about this. I made my intentions clear when I came into this, and I continue to make my intentions clear throughout the whole thing. And those intentions are that I am after John Davis, whoever is going to have that title, and I'm coming.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's roll the footage, because I think this matchup, man, could it be fight of the year? Like, could it be 3-round match of the year? Like, you know, we saw you there, Branden.
Yeah, it was a good one, you know, especially coming off that one with Eddie. You know what I mean? Him and I went through a pretty or extremely clean fight. To be able to go back and do that again with Joe, you know, was you know, I think it speaks, you know, a lot to be able to go in there and have, you know, perfectly clean fights, no fouls, nothing at all.
Can you see the video, Branden?
I can see it.
Perfect. Talk us through the first slap. Yeah,
so the first one there, you know, I don't know how Joe's confidence was coming into it. You know what I mean? I was highly confident coming into it. You know, you're always searching for that knockout. I got him a little high there. But you know what I mean? I was trying to finish Eddie, you know, in our first fight. So I actually kind of dumb. I kind of changed my hand placement with Joe. I brought my hand placement up a little bit higher. Yeah. You know, I'm glad I still won the fight, but I'm also the type of person who I'll go back through and I consistently watch these fights and pick apart things that I need to do better. And me moving my hand placement like that, in my opinion, was completely stupid. But you know, like I said, I was able to win that one, and I know what I did wrong, and I'm fixing that.
Yeah. So we've seen you were definitely high. Joe missed on this first one here.
Yeah, he comes across the front of my face there.
Across. How much do you think the height differential played in this? Because both you guys were off in that first round.
Well, I think it, you know, it probably plays quite a bit of a difference. You know what I mean? I practice with the bob and stuff, and I make it taller and I make it shorter and stuff. But it, you know, it's different when you're up there in person. And I don't know, you know, I think Joe's last opponent, I know that he beat was a shorter guy as well. So when you got somebody taller like myself, it's a little harder, you know, to reach. And if you're not careful when you go to follow through there, you also step. So him kind of reaching, you know what I mean? I got to make it a little bit more difficult for him. And then I'm also swinging down on somebody too. So that makes it a little bit more difficult on my end.
Yeah. I think this one here in the second round was probably your best slap yet.
Yep. I was clean, but if you see it, I was still, you know what I mean? I still wasn't quite on the jawline, you know what I mean? Like my first two with Eddie were right on that jawline. And then the third one I rolled across the front of his face. But like I said, I messed with my hand placement, and I did it in practice after, you know, I mean, the second round was coming. I messed with my hand placement and practice, and then, you know, once I got in there and I moved my hand placement up afterwards, I knew immediately. I was like, that was kind of dumb to do. But, you know, like I said, we live and learn, and you know what I mean? I walked out with the win, and, you know, I was able to pick some things apart that I need to do better. And like, I think he rolled across the front of my face on that one too.
Again, yeah. You know, compared to Eddie, who hit harder?
Well, I would have to say Eddie. I just think, but because I think Eddie hit me cleaner. You know what I mean? Like we're seeing right here. I think Joe's, at least his first two, rolled across the front of my face, so Joe didn't hit me completely flush. Eddie's first two, he hit me completely flush. But Joe also had, you know what I mean, his slap score and everything was quite a bit higher as well. So
yeah, we see you crouching down quite a bit, having to bend your knees, having to bring your hips down to kind of get into this slap. Do you think that took away a bit of your overall power?
Yeah, possibly. You know what I mean? Now I'm still trying to figure that swing out there a little bit. You know, I've been you know, since we've been back, I've really been busting my ass, and we've been in the gym constantly. I've been doing tons of leg workouts and stuff. So I'm really trying to use that. You know, I'm trying to bring that power up through my legs, up through my core, and you know, through the shoulders and stuff as well. So it should be a treat this next one, to be honest with you.
Dinger Jeeves, you have any question for Branden?
Yeah. I want to speak to Brandon's point where he says he went back to the drawing board between the first and second match, and even both of these guys we've been seeing since back in June, July, early. They're like, you guys have been around in the power slap sphere for a long time, and with Branden, to those paying attention, there are significant upgrades in your presentation, your technique, everything from match to match, and I love seeing that. Someone take the sport seriously and actually get their mind in the game and learn the fight IQ moving forward. You're almost paving the way with people being able to watch you and study your tape of the progression of what a slap fighter should go through as they're coming into this league and as they're progressing. So I have really high hopes for you, brother. I love seeing this match. This was, like Corey said, one of the best matches we've seen so far on the show, if not all year. So thank you for that show, brother. It was great to watch.
Of course, I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, and like I said, I mean, you guys seen episode 1. I said, you know, in there that I get obsessive about things. When I get into something, I'm not just half in and half out. I'm not kidding when I say that. You know, I'm so far in, and I'm so obsessed with becoming middleweight champion of the world that, you know what I mean, every day. Like I said, you know, I've been under the weather, and I just got back from the gym. That's where I came from right now. You know what I mean? I'm busting my ass day in and day out. I studied, you know what I mean? I've probably watched, since it came out 2 weeks ago, I probably rewatched that fight with Eddie 15 times, and I'll sit down and do the same exact thing with this one. You know what I mean? I'm the type of person where I'll never stay the same. You know what I mean? I'm not going to let myself get worse. So I'm going to constantly get better. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to break down the film. You know what I mean? I don't care if I blow somebody out of the water. You know what I mean? I'm going to find something for myself to work on and to make improvements on, to constantly get better. You know what I mean? I came into this, you know, when I came into it at first, I told Erica, I said, you know what I mean, get me in. You know, I said that there's a lot of fouls and, you know, stuff like that with these new guys. And, you know, I kind of wanted to be, you know, me telling her that I had to come in, you know what I mean? And I wasn't going to come in and be one of these people that's going to foul or foul out or anything like that. You know, nothing against anybody else, you know what I mean? But I'm constantly working on my technique. And that's one thing I really took from Ron when I was out there in August. Me and him had a conversation, and he was telling some of these other guys, he said, you guys, I'm telling you, technique over power, because as you guys know, you know what I mean, you step or club or something and you lose around 10-8, you know what I mean? Now it's hard to come back from that. You know what I mean? So I've really taken that technique before power thing seriously and really gotten the technique down. And now since I've been home, now we're adding in the power. You know what I mean? Like I said, we're working out all of explosion workouts, exploding up through the legs, exploding through the core. I got a really good personal trainer who has sat down and he has studied all of this with me. He's studied all the movements and stuff. So, you know, we've really hammered it down, and I expect to be a completely different person in February as what I was in the house. I know I am physically, mentally, everything.
Yeah. We look forward to it, man. Power Slap number 6. You're going to be there. Live event. Can't wait to see it, my man. Appreciate you joining me, Branden. Best of luck in your training. We're here to support you. We'll be here. We'll be there live, man, in February.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I can't wait to see you there.
See you soon, man. Feel better.
Yeah. What a crazy matchup.
I think this is great for the middleweight division. Another tactician coming into here to mess with the ranks. We know we have Azael and John at the top right now, and both of those guys are tacticians when it comes to this. So having another guy like Eddie come in here and really shake that up is going to be beautiful to see. I'm excited for the middleweights, man.
100%. And one last thing about that match, I actually think the last slap by Joe actually was probably a club. So he was actually probably lucky that it wasn't called. Either way, the right decision was made. Branden Bordeaux ended up winning unanimous decision. So we're going to see him in February. Let's keep on rolling here. Like we said, we get some of the house stuff. They kind of left with a cliffhanger where the Irishman, Sean Kilmartin, we didn't know if he's going to go up against Chris Debo. And we get it now. We're able to figure out who he's going to go up against. They've got Ed Smith in the waiting from Missouri. I don't know what JT Tilly's been doing, but he slept on this guy. I think
how did he slip through?
Superstar in the waiting.
Yes, sir.
Ed Smith, Ed Slambo. We've got the personality of Ed coming in. Let's talk about Ed a little bit, because I'm going to say right off the bat, this dude, I think, has superstar potential. He actually reminds me of Yellow Wolf a little bit.
Okay.
American bandana. You know, he's got the cross, you know, the cross on his face. He's got the neck tattoos. I could see Southern America really get behind this guy. Big Ding coming from Big Ding up there. You Democrat in New York, shaking your head.
Do we want to start with Ding, or should we go with Ding after? Because he's obviously got a contrasting opinion.
It looks like he's gonna cry.
Listen, I'll start this off because I agree with you, Corey. Right from the jump, the minute they brought him on screen and they had that face off with Kilmartin, I was sold on the Slambo train. And then he went into that thing about the $300 sunglasses. That's a no-no for Slambo. I was all over it, bro. I'm in on the personality of Slambo. I'm super stoked that Dana went with his decision there at the end. I'm sold, but I don't know about Ding.
If you could create a slap fighter based on what all the bad people are saying,
it is Ed Smith. It is Ed Smith.
Yeah. If you could just create exactly what like people picture and why they hate power slap, it's Ed Smith. But here's the thing, right? Similar to how Azael was in the house on season 1, where everybody thought he was a piece of shit, and then he showed up and he was able to fight.
Yeah.
And this kid, I mean, he slept him. I would be fucking disturbed if I was Kilmartin and somebody that acts and looks like that just fucking put me out in one step, no step. He's got potential. I'll say that. One of the weirdest cats I've ever laid my eyes on, and represents exactly what poster boy slap fighter would be. The $300 sunglasses was an interesting one, and the third person, like he's the Rock, was interesting. And then the nickname, like a hybrid between he's like a hippie, but he's talking about Rambo, and then he's from Missouri.
He's the backcountry Rambo.
He said he tried to be a champion in every sport and failed, and is not gonna stop. And he owns a boxing. Like the kid's life is just perfect. Everything's just it like fits. It's like he's like Paul Teague, but he can actually fight, which is crazy. It's like
There's cut that, Mr. Producer.
Yeah, there it is.
That is
there
it.
It is.
This whole episode is just made right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yo, so hold on. Let me say this. It sounds like you're a fan. Everything that you said sounds like you're a fan, bro.
I haven't decided yet. The jury's out on that one. Honestly, okay. I'm
gonna make some comparisons. Okay. He said with a lot of conviction that he is being led by Jesus right now. We saw that hand on one, and that looked like the hand of God. Could Slambo be everything we wanted Slap Jesus to be, but actually stay on the rails and stay in the league?
I actually like that a lot, actually. So I actually do like that. And also, there's actually one other comparison. also with the slap technique and his background. But hopefully he's got a better chin than our man, Mr. Bear Bennett. Gym owner. Very similar Mike Tyson rotation on the slap. So very interesting. Tats on the face. Could he be everything that we wanted from Slap Jesus and Bear Bennett?
Ooh, that could be dangerous. That combo right there, a Slap Jesus Bear Bennett hybrid with the personality, that likability that Eddie has already. Oh man.
So there we go. Slap Jesus and Bear Bennett had a baby. Ed Slambo.
Through divine conception.
Yes. This guy is the Sean Strickland of Power Slap.
Which is amazing.
That's what it is right there.
Sean Strickland is the champion, buddy. Come on.
Eddie could be
know.
Hey, listen, Sean Strickland is one of the nicest guys that there is. He asked the kids to move out of the way before he started to fucking pound.
He did,
and it was impressive. And you guys will see him in Toronto in about a month. And so you'll get to ask him questions all about how he fucking was elbowing this guy in the head in front of children.
Dude, Sean Strickland came on Slap News, so he can do no wrong. Let's go.
Yeah, he's good in our books.
All right, Mr. Producer Ray D, play that fight, my man. We want to get rocking on here. So here we go with a slap score of 978. How did they keep this guy out of the house in the first place? Like, let's think about that for a second.
Well, he's old as fuck. I mean, 35. This guy's no young spring chicken for the sport. You got 21-year-olds that you're going up against.
Alternatively, this could be his prime. These could be the years, all those years of being second and not being able to make it. This is what he was born.
You're giving him second. Yeah, you're giving him second. All right. like runner up boxing champion. Dude, I just thought that was so crazy. He's like, I've tried to be a champion in so many sports and I failed, but I won't fail this time. Like, nah, like that was real.
So Kilmartin, military background, Navy and Army.
Yeah, but in Ireland, let's make sure.
What does that mean?
It's just a little different.
Couldn't take it.
No, look at Dana though. That was priceless. Like that's a meme face.
Yo, I'm gonna dub it here. That slap is now known as the hand of God. That's gonna be his fucking strike when he pulls it out. That right on one, that's the hand of God. Look what it did to Kilmartin.
Yeah, man. What a vicious. I hate to say it, but we're seeing a lot of stepping from Manny's team.
Oh, it doesn't matter if you say it or not. Chris will.
Yeah, we got to see a little bit of it here.
Chris calling him out for it right now.
Chris is calling him out, and Chris tells him right before Kilmartin goes up there, he goes, "Go knock this ugly motherfucker out." I'm like, damn, bro. That guy might be the person to take your championship, brother. I'd slow down, man.
Yo, tell me this is not Reddit writing the script for a power slap striker. This is it right here. If Reddit got to design a power slap striker, this is what it would look like.
Yeah. So, I mean, we didn't get to see anything from Sean Kilmartin except for taking that slap. But, I mean, obviously we're talking about Eddie Smith, in this one. And it's definitely interesting to see the evolution of Eddie. How do you keep this guy off the show in the first place? How is he an alternative? Like, even when you look at him in the camera, like, I don't even know how to politely say this, but there's something off about this guy. Like, this guy is definitely different. There's a different breed. Like nothing's gonna stop this guy, man. Yeah. This is next level. Like, I like it. Ding.
I'm stoked.
We're not sure if Ding likes it. Gee,
Ding needs an episode or two more.
2.5 or 2.5 stars out of 3 in on.
Get the guy some Timberlands or some shit. I mean, I've never seen that in person. That's an interesting fella for sure. But
yeah,
I mean, like I said, he can fight. But I'm interested to see how all this stuff will play out. I mean, in general, I mean, like you said, he's got the personality. And he's the created slap fighter that everybody really is kind of been looking for. Totally. So we'll see how it plays out, but I mean, nobody disagrees that he's definitely an odd fella.
I mean, I think we've kind of said a little bit. The last couple episodes here have been pretty dry. We're not sure if the move to 12 episodes has kind of watered down the content a little bit, but this episode of round 2 and the previews coming up, in the future episode, things are spicing up now. Kind of come that turn of the new year. So they gave us a little bit of updates here. let's talk about it a little bit because I think it's quite interesting. So we prognosticated on it that it wasn't going to happen. Guys like Miles Jackson and, Sean Kilmartin getting DQ'd, even getting the win, but, not being medically cleared to go on to round 2, as we kind of thought, kind of disappointing. At this point, we don't know what Power Slap is going to do. However, we do know that in these types of situations, they're usually very honorable, and we'll probably see both these athletes back, whether it be on a tape fight, in the future. They'll get another opportunity at some point to show what they have. We just know it's not going to be right now as part of the road to the title too. Let's talk about the guys that they're bringing back, because to me, I think this is quite interesting.
Hold on.
King and I are going to disagree.
You guys said something last week. I didn't address it because I was having a baby, but I'm going to address it now.
All right.
I was
high on Evian Scott, and Evian Scott got to fucking stay.
Yeah,
because he was so good.
He did.
So I don't want to hear no more bullshit about, Ding was high on this guy and he got DQ. No, he's fucking here to stay, and he's back, and he's staying on the show because Dana agreed. So therefore, I was right. I'm sorry.
You were right. You're sorry. But here, let's talk about it a little bit. Evian Scott loses and gets called back. Guys like Miles Jackson, Sean Kilmartin don't get an opportunity to go forward, but you're going to bring guys like Brian Ellis, Evian Scott, Eddie Brehimer. Is it fair? What do you think? Or is this...
these guys got knocked out cold. They're not clear to compete. I mean, what do you want? This was filmed in 2 weeks.
Yeah. What happened to Evian Scott in round 1?
What happened to Evian Scott in round 1? What do you mean? He didn't get knocked out. You're thinking of the wrong person. Evian Scott.
I'm not saying I didn't say.
What do you mean?
Did he win?
No. I mean, but that's because
he deserved to be here.
But that's because it's inexperience. It's not like these guys had 6-month training camps to learn how to do this shit. I mean, but he showed that he's got power. He's exciting, and that's what we need. And then they got Brian Ellis moving up to super heavy. That's a big look.
Corey, I think they're here because those are thin divisions. We need as many guys as we can. Like as we see with the super heavies right now, the bottom 3 or 4 all have losing records right now. I think it's literally because the divisions are thin.
Yeah, and
they need the guys. I can't see any other reason to bring guys like that back.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I will say that I think this crop of talent, playing devil's advocate and just trying to piss things off, but I'd like to actually see more from all 4 of these guys that they brought back. I mean, I can't argue that fact. All that I'm just arguing is saying is the guys that are in the house, the guys that are winning, guys like Branden who are performing, don't necessarily is it really a fair shake that these guys lose and get to come back and have another opportunity to live another day? In this tournament style, if it was a true tournament style, like some of these other MMA organizations run where you win and go on, you lose and you're out. You want to call it the NBA playoffs, NFL playoffs, you lose, you're out. You don't get a second chance. So
yeah, but bro, this is Power Slap. Like
I know.
The competitors are doing the shit for free. You know what I'm saying?
No. What do you mean? No. Come on, you're the wrong organization here.
No. I'm saying I'm talking about the other, like the competitors to Power Slap. Like,
I got you.
Their competition in that market are fighting for free. Like, this is a very entry level sport at the moment. You got people like fucking Slambo potentially going to be facing KO Chris at some point. Like we're talking crazy shit all day long. I think a guy like Evian Scott, who fucking sat there and took his shots like a man, he just made a critical error in his preparation, which we've seen. But he showed that he's got the heart. And then Brian Ellis, to move that guy up to a division where these guys are all fucking islanders of some sort. I mean, they're resting on them a lot because they're big fucking guys. I mean, these guys are between 380 and 450, 470 pounds. This guy's like at the heavyweight limit, 265, and you're telling me he needs to move up? Like, there's obviously they believe in the guy. I mean, what he did must have impressed them that much.
Yeah, absolutely. But so we know those 4 guys. We've seen Hayden Southall is coming back. We know that he's going to be going up against McKinney Manu. Yeah. What an incredible match that's going to be. Over 850 pounds going up square and toe to toe. The preview of it, I don't know. That slap by by Hayden Southall looking pretty weak sauce to me, my man. Yeah. I don't know.
And the height differential being more close to each other, I think is going to help Manu again. We saw a little bit through the previews, but I think not the guy being closer to his height, we're going to see Manu be able to transfer that power a lot better than he was in that last match. So that's a good one. I like that one.
I don't know. Where do we think Manu fits in the super heavyweights? Well, you know, you take the current rankings right now. Where does he slide in? I mean, I'd say the measuring stick is, you know, we've got the crazy Hawaiian, we've got the crazy Hitman. Could Manu actually slide in number 3 right now?
Yo, I'm gonna just go back to my next point. If the height thing becomes a problem for him, because he is a short, compact guy with smaller appendages, if the height thing becomes a problem for him, it's gonna be tough in the super heavies, because we see these guys are big guys. Like the crazy Hawaiian, he's a big dude. Like I look up at him when we're talking. You know what I mean? So if that is gonna be what holds him back, because of his biomechanics, it's gonna be tough for him to make an impact. But like when we see him line up in that preview against the other sumo guy, Hayden, it looks a lot better, and it looks like he's going to be able to strike a lot better. So that's how I'm seeing it shake out. It's like it's going to come down to height.
Up against Kalani.
Yeah, right. Like that's going to be tough for him, bro.
Absolutely.
He's got
that'd be a great matchup, man. That'd be a great matchup. All right, in the other matchup, we got Garrett Grimes going up against Merlis. Very, very great matchup again. That's going to be fireworks coming in next week. I think, you know, this just keeps on getting better.
This second round of fights is going to be nutty. Like we've seen what these guys can do now, and we know that everyone that's going on, it has quite the hands on them. So this second round of fights, this next 5-6 episodes is going to be nutty, boys.
Absolutely. I think it's you know, definitely shaping up to be well. We've got some athletes here that we're going to see go for the title. We've said some guys that can be superstars, guys that are going to come in here and really shake up the rankings. I think something that we you know, really haven't seen, you know, since the first road to the title. You know, let's talk about that. Like how amazing this reality show is for the sport.
Oh, totally, man. It gives us something to do, like as fans, like as the fan base grows, stuff like this, you're going to need more to consume. There are still a lot of traditional sports fans who do like long form content, and this hits it right on the head for them. Yeah,
absolutely. There we are. I don't even know what episode we're in. Episode 7.
Yeah,
episode 7.
I got an important announcement though, real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but Ding Dizzle coming in hot. 951 in the fucking world.
Let's go.
You guys are in trouble. It's going to keep coming. Look at that guy. It looks like Branden Bordeaux.
It looks like Branden. I was going to say that. I thought your announcement was that they just added him to the game.
Nah, Ding Dizzle, bro. Coming in hot.
Ding Dizzle putting in 1 million hours. I thought you were going to announce that your newborn was.
Yeah, I thought that was the announcement.
I thought the announcement was like, "Welcome Rajiv Ding Dong to the world."
But no, it was a power slap mobile. Bro's had a kid. There's been Christmas, all sorts of things, and he decides to announce power slap mobile.
Bro,
score.
Listen, I just want people to know there's a challenge going on right now. I'm not going to get the #1 spot because there's some people way ahead of me, but I'm fucking coming.
I'm coming.
And congratulations to Ryan Phillips. He's in the game, and I definitely sent him a video of me knocking him out in one slap. So he's like, "Bro, you got to do it dirty like that?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro, it's just the way it works. They made you a weak ass bitch. I don't know what you want me to say."
All right, my boys, let's wrap it up. Let's bring that schedule up. Let's talk about it, like we said, because we're putting on a ton of content. Continually comes in. With Mondays, we're putting out shows. Recapping the weekly stat heroes. On Wednesdays, this show here, the final slap, giving you the recap of the entire show. And on Fridays, we are breaking down the fights, getting into the analysis, and doing the interviews. Appreciate you all. If you're not doing so already, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Turn that notification bell on so when we release new content, you're the first to get it. And leave us a comment in the comment section below if you have anything that you want to say, you agree or disagree with us. This episode was wild. We said a lot of outlandish stuff. So let us know what you think in the comments section below. Much love. Take care, guys.